Young Dolph's killer just folded in court and spilled everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you how many times that shot out.
Aiming for Dolph.
No, I ain't no.
Was he able to say anything to y'all, or was he able to run or get away at all?
I shot through the glass, so I wasn't close up on him. I was shooting through the glass.
But here's the wild part. He didn't just admit to pulling the trigger. He claimed Big Jook gave the order and that Gotti was behind it all. Word is, Gotti could be getting cuffed any day now. Let me break it down. When the street started talking and the truth came out. Picture this. You in a Memphis courtroom, and one of the cats who allegedly blew Young Dolph's candle out is sitting on that witness stand about to break the ultimate hood code. We talking about snitching on a level that got the whole trap music game shook, and this dude about to spill all the tea on how the biggest names in Memphis allegedly orchestrated a hit that changed hip-hop forever. The homie who decided to flip and tell everything was Cornelius Smith, one of the two alleged shooters who supposedly sent Dolph to meet his maker. But check this, homeboy wasn't just confessing to catching a body. He was about to expose what prosecutors said was a whole conspiracy that went straight to the top of one of the South's most successful record labels. When them prosecutors started rolling that surveillance footage, showing the final moments of Adolph Thornton Jr.'s life, Smith didn't even try to cap about what went down. His response was cold as winter in Chi-Town.
Say y'all,
Yeah, this is right there.
stop it here.
It's me.
Real talk, as Smith sat in that courtroom pointing at that footage, showing him and his mans moving with deadly intentions. This wasn't just some regular street beef confession. This was about to expose what he claimed was a web of conspiracy that reached all the way into Collective Music Group, the empire owned by Memphis rap king Gotti. The prosecutor kept pressing Smith about the footage, making sure every detail of this deadly mission was crystal clear. When they asked about who was first out the whip, Smith kept it 100.
Can you stop it? All right. We're gonna back up. I might wanted to, back up a little bit. All right. First guy out of the car, who's that?
It's me.
Then they wanted to know about the artillery homeboy was carrying.
That's you? Which one of the guns do you have?
I got the little Draco stab on.
Okay, that's that semi-automatic weapon, is that right?
Yeah.
You ever shot that thing before?
I ain't never shot one of them.
The story Smith was about to tell had been circulating through the hood for years, whispered about in barbershops and on block corners, but never spoken out loud in a courtroom where it could send folks to the pen for life. But before we dive deep into Smith's explosive testimony that had the whole trap scene shook, we need to understand the complex web of relationships, rivalries, and street politics that led to that tragic day on November 17th, 2021, when Young Dolph got smoked inside Makeda's homemade butter cookies in Memphis, taking 22 shots to the dome, neck, back, and arms. The roots of this deadly beef stretch back to 2014, when Young Dolph curved Gotti's record deal offer after dropping his project High Class Street Music 4, American Gangster. What seemed like just a business move would turn into one of hip-hop's most dangerous and ultimately deadly vendettas. Dolph's reasoning was simple as a Sunday morning. He'd rather invest in his own bag than jump on another rapper's wave. But according to what would later come out in court testimony and interviews, this rejection had Gotti feeling some type of way. The Memphis trap scene, which had always been cutthroat, was about to become a straight-up war zone. The tension between these two Memphis trap lords wasn't just about the music. It was about respect, territory, and who was really running things in the city's rap game. Dolph, a real Memphis native who came up hard in the streets, had built his paper route empire from nothing, becoming one of the most successful independent artists in the game. His refusal to sign with CMG was seen by many as a direct disrespect to Gotti's authority in the Memphis hip-hop scene. What started as business beef quickly turned personal. In February 2016, Dolph took to Twitter to air out his grievances, saying that Gotti had gone from being my #1 fan and wanting to sign me to being my biggest hater. This public call out marked the beginning of a feud that would play out through diss tracks, social media beef, and ultimately street violence. The beef reached a whole new level when Dolph titled his album King of Memphis, which was seen as a direct shot at Gotti, who had long called himself the King of Memphis. This wasn't just about rap supremacy anymore. It was about who would wear the crown in Memphis trap music. But things got real spicy when Black Young Dolph, one of Gotti's CMG artists, started moving reckless. In March 2016, Young Dolph threatened to smack Dolph on Instagram and even pulled up to Dolph's hood strapped up, turning what had been a war of words into some real street shit. The violence that followed was swift and terrifying. In February 2017, Dolph's whip got lit up in Charlotte, North Carolina, with over 100 rounds fired at his bulletproof SUV. Remarkably, Dolph survived and even performed his diss track later that same evening, showing the kind of gangster that made him a legend in Memphis. But the attempts on his life didn't stop there. In September 2017, Dolph got shot up in Hollywood outside a Shoe Palace store and had to be rushed to the hospital. Initially, Gotti was named as a person of interest, though he was later cleared by the LAPD. These attempts on Dolph's life only seemed to make him harder. He kept dropping heat, kept building his empire, and kept standing as a symbol of independence in an industry increasingly controlled by major labels and their street affiliates. But according to what Cornelius Smith would later testify, there were some powerful people who saw Dolph's continued success and independence as a problem that needed to be handled permanently. When Young Dolph sat down with the Breakfast Club in 2017, he broke down his perspective on the ongoing beef. When they asked him about whether he could respect his rival despite their differences, Dolph was real about his position. He talked about a meeting where he felt completely disrespected by how his rival spoke about his own artists and made it clear that respect was everything to him. The interviewer kept pushing about whether the situation could ever be squashed, but Dolph was firm about where he stood. The main player in these allegations was Anthony Big Jook Mims, Yo Gotti's older brother, and a key figure in CMG's street operations. During Smith's testimony, prosecutors alleged that Big Jook had put a $100,000 bounty on Young Dolph's head, a claim that sent shockwaves through the entire hip-hop community. But Big Jook's alleged involvement in this conspiracy would remain forever a mystery. On January 13th, 2024, Big Jook got smoked outside a Memphis restaurant, and Memphis PD hasn't made any arrests in connection with his murder. Some folks speculated that his killing was payback for Dolph's murder, but others wondered if he got silenced before he could spill what he knew about the whole conspiracy. The players in this deadly game were becoming clear. Justin Johnson, who went by Straight Drop in the streets, would be identified as the other shooter alongside Cornelius Smith. But according to Smith's testimony, they were just the triggermen in a much larger conspiracy that allegedly reached into the highest levels of one of Memphis's most successful record labels. As the prosecution continued to break down the evidence with Smith, the cold calculation behind the hit became even more apparent. When they asked about his motivation and what was going through his head during the shooting, Smith's response revealed the alleged financial incentive behind the violence.
What you see? What are you feeling?
I want to feel nothing at the time. I ain't gonna even let. I want to feel nothing at the time. I was just, trying to get some money.
Trying to get some money? Bet you probably would have wasted on oxycodone and ecstasy. You shot that gun a bunch?
Right in there?
Right then and there.
What Smith revealed in his testimony wasn't just some random street beef or a robbery gone wrong. It was what prosecutors described as a calculated hit job, allegedly ordered by Big Jook and orchestrated by Hernandez Govan, the alleged mastermind who had connections to both the streets and the music industry. The most chilling part of Smith's testimony was his detailed description of the actual shooting. When the prosecutor asked him about his target and intentions, Smith's response was brutally honest.
Yeah, I can tell you how many times I shot out.
Aiming for Dolph?
No, I ain't, no.
Was he able to say anything to y'all, or was he able to run or get away at all?
I shot through the glass, so I wasn't close up on him. I was shooting through the glass.
Smith continued to break down the attack with disturbing detail.
I saw him standing by the window. I just got out and started shooting.
Proceed till Justin shoots. There with the handgun. Who's that?
Legit.
The testimony revealed that this wasn't just about Young Dolph. There were allegedly multiple hits planned on artists affiliated with Paper Route Empire, suggesting a systematic attempt to destroy Dolph's label and everyone associated with it. As Smith continued spilling tea, painting a picture of meetings, planning sessions, and promised bread, the courtroom began to understand the scope of what prosecutors were alleging. The most shocking revelation was yet to come. According to Smith's testimony, he and Johnson were allegedly promised $40,000 each for the hit, while Hernandez Govan was set to receive $20,000. But what was perhaps most disturbing was the alleged suggestion that killing Young Dolph was necessary for Johnson to secure a record deal with CMG, turning murder into a twisted audition for a rap career. The trap game conspiracy gets exposed. As Cornelius Smith continued dropping bombs on the witness stand, the full scope of the alleged conspiracy began to unfold like a trap house getting raided at dawn. What had started as industry beef had allegedly evolved into something way more sinister, a calculated plot that prosecutors claimed reached into the heart of one of the South's most successful hip-hop empires. The hit itself hadn't gone according to plan, as Smith revealed during his testimony. The violence wasn't one-sided. Young Dolph's brother Marcus had been on the scene and had fired back, creating a dangerous situation for the alleged shooters. Smith broke down the chaotic aftermath of the shooting and his realization that they had caught some hot ones from return fire.
Did you know that he shot back at y'all?
I ain't noticed until we pulled out. And there was a bullet hole in my side window. Oh, I told Jeff, man, I'm hit. He was like, I'm hit too.
Smith continued to describe the injuries he and Johnson caught during the shootout.
So I see I'm hit right on my leg. And